Cloud formations are as beautiful as they are enigmatic. Often we find ourselves questioning how they came to be. In this list, we'll discuss some incredible cloud formations observed in our very own planet. Here are the top 10 strangest cloud formations that might just pique your interest in clouds.
Amazing!
Number 10. Kelvin-HELMHOLTZ wave clouds. Named after the physicists Lord Kelvin and Hermann von Helmholtz, this wave-like cloud formation is truly awe-inspiring. Often seen during windy days, these clouds are formed whenever there's a velocity difference between the different layers of air, with the upper layers of air moving faster than the lower layers. The upper layers then scoop up the clouds, forming a rolling wave-like cloud formation. While it may be a stunning sight for people who gaze upon it, for aircraft pilots, these clouds forebode an impending problem, as these clouds are known to cause turbulence. Here are a couple of fun facts you might want to know about this cloud formation. Kelvin-HELMHOLTZ clouds are not limited to Earth's atmosphere alone. In fact, scientists have discovered that this cloud formation exists on other planets as well, such as Saturn. Kelvin-HELMHOLTZ clouds are also prominent in Van Gogh's well-known masterpiece, The Starry Night. And many believe the formation served as a major inspiration for the artist. And who could blame him? It really is a magnificent looking cloud after all. Number 9. Mackerel sky. Rarely will you see clouds that are formed and arranged as neatly as this cloud formation. Mackerel skies, also known as sheep clouds, are large groups of clouds that resemble the scales of mackerel. These clouds are stacked nicely against the blue sky, with small gaps that allow the blue sky to peek through. Mackerel skies are formed when altostratus clouds disintegrate into altocumulus clouds due to atmospheric instability, causing the clouds to break up and form ripples in the process. Of course, this atmospheric instability causes other things as well, as the appearance of mackerel skies often predict the coming of a thunderstorm. This explains why seamen dread the appearance of said cloud formations. Fortunately, these thunderstorms hit usually 6 to 8 hours after, leaving enough time to prepare for the impending storm. Number 8. FALLSTREAK holes. Despite its daunting appearance, FALLSTREAK holes aren't something you should fear. Unlike the previous cloud formations, FALLSTREAK holes don't forebode the arrival of a storm, as they're not caused by atmospheric instabilities. Rather, these FALLSTREAK holes are formed by water droplets that cool down but don't entirely freeze over. If there's a disturbance present, say from a plane, these droplets rapidly freeze, causing the cloud to form ice crystals and shatter, resulting in a hole forming from said cloud. FALLSTREAK holes often appear when altostratus or altocumulus clouds are present, as these low-altitude clouds are easily disturbed by jet planes and aircrafts. They're also often attributed to UFOs, as their circular appearance leads people to think that UFOs might have caused the hole to appear. So the next time you see a FALLSTREAK hole, just admire its grandeur and worry not about UFOs or something descending from it. Number 7. Cumulonimbus clouds. If there's one word to describe these clouds, it's massive. Cumulonimbus clouds are considered the heavyweights among the different types of clouds, as their colossal size plainly overshadows other clouds. Cumulonimbus clouds come in many different types, with the most common types being the anvil clouds and supercells, both of which signal massive thunderstorms or even hailstorms. Anvil clouds, as their name implies, daunts the shape of an anvil. These anvil clouds are formed when columns of rising air from cumulus clouds called updrafts rise into the atmosphere. Upon reaching the top of the atmosphere, or as meteorologists call the equilibrium level, the updrafts spread evenly, forming a flat top, creating a cloud formation resembling an anvil. Supercells, on the other hand, are massive cumulonimbus clouds that look eerily similar to a giant cyclone. These monstrous clouds are formed the same way as anvil clouds, but they require one additional ingredient, a constantly rotating updraft called the mesocyclone. The mesocyclone is responsible for shaping the supercell, making it look like a monstrous cyclone that will ravage everything in its path. Unlike anvil clouds, supercells are as dangerous as they are massive, as thunderstorms, tornadoes, and even hailstorms are likely to happen whenever supercells form. So if you happen to see this cloud formation, you better pull a 180 and hope that the storm won't reach you. Number 6. Asperitas clouds. Ominous in appearance, Asperitas clouds are clouds that greatly resemble the rolling waves of the ocean. Even its movements will remind you of the ocean. Discovered and cataloged back in 2009, Asperitas clouds are described as a poetic cloud formation, as the International Cloud Atlas puts it. It's as if an artist made the skies their personal canvas, painting the graceful movements of the ocean onto the wide sky. Just take a look at these Asperitas clouds and tell me that they aren't artistic. These clouds are a subtype of Asperitas clouds called the Jacques Cousteau clouds, which is named after the legendary French explorer. Asperitas clouds are formed when rising air forms into cloud covers. As the wind blows, pushing the cloud forward, gravity steps in and pulls the cloud downwards, while the rising air continues to push the clouds upwards, creating a wave-like movement amongst the clouds. Though it has an appearance that may make you fear that a storm is on the horizon, Asperitas clouds are known to disperse and break up easily. If you happen to see this cloud formation, consider yourself lucky, because this jaw-dropping sight can only be seen in a few places in the world. Before I reveal the next example, you should subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. We upload amazing fact-filled list videos daily. Also, make sure to click that bell icon to stay updated, or you'll regret missing out on some amazing knowledge that could have filled your brain. Now let's get back to it. Number 5. Polar stratospheric clouds. Seeing this cloud formation may immediately remind you of the aurora borealis, seen in the magnetic North Poles, and it's not surprising because polar stratospheric clouds, also known as mother-of-pearl clouds, somewhat resemble the famous northern lights. These clouds are formed when certain conditions are met. 1. The temperature must be lower than 85 degrees Celsius. And 2. The clouds must form similarly sized ice crystals to be able to produce the iridescent aura it gives off. As they need to be below freezing temperatures to form, polar stratospheric clouds are often seen in the North and South Poles. Despite its spectacular appearance, polar stratospheric clouds are very harmful, as these clouds are known to create holes in the ozone layer. These clouds are known to convert chlorine in the atmosphere into destructive gases, as well as removing nitrogen compounds that reduce the damage done by the aforementioned gases. Unfortunately, meteorologists cannot come up with a solution to this problem. All they can do right now is study this cloud formation and hope that they can find ways to prevent this cloud from naturally forming. Number 4. Shelf clouds. Yes, cumulonimbus clouds are indeed frightening, but they're usually formed high up in the atmosphere. Shelf clouds possess the same massive appearance of cumulonimbus clouds, but with one alarming difference. These clouds form at a very low altitude. Can you imagine these dark and massive clouds looming above you? Just the thought of it makes you shiver, right? Shelf clouds are formed as downdrafts from thunderstorms descend. It spreads laterally as moist air from the updrafts combines with the downdrafts, forming the shelf clouds as soon as the moist air condenses. While its intimidating appearance may just make you pee in your pants, shelf clouds are relatively harmless and pose no threat to anyone. What you should be concerned, however, is the fact that a thunderstorm or even a hailstorm is imminent once shelf clouds appear. If you want to admire this cloud formation, just observe it from afar, or you might just find yourself in the middle of a storm. Number 3. Mammatus clouds. With a shape akin to that of a cow's udders, the mammatus cloud is a strange and rare cloud formation, seen only in a few places around the world. These pouch-like clouds are formed usually under cumulonimbus clouds, but they can also form on other types of clouds, as long as the clouds have high water or ice content, making the cloud a bit heavier, and giving it its pouch-like structure. Unlike other cloud formations in this list, the appearance of mammatus clouds does not mean that a storm is coming, despite it having a resemblance to a water-filled balloon about to pop. Oftentimes, the cloud's water or ice content rapidly evaporates, leading to the mammatus clouds dissolving quietly. Mammatus clouds may look menacing, but if you happen to view one at a place where sunlight is reflected off it, it becomes a truly spectacular view you'll never forget. Number 2. Lenticular clouds. Here we have yet another cloud formation that's commonly mistaken for UFOs. Lenticular clouds, as they're known, are cloud formations often seen on mountain ranges. These clouds are formed when air flows into the mountaintops, disrupting its natural flow as sinking air warms up and rising air cools down. Once the air condenses, it forms a saucer-like cloud that greatly resembles UFOs in popular culture. In some cases, multiple lenticular clouds form from this condensation, creating a cloud formation similar to that of an anvil cloud. While lenticular clouds are relatively harmless for people on the ground, the appearance of these cloud formations can be a bit troubling for airplane pilots, as this may mean that turbulence, as a direct result of the disruption of airflow, is imminent. So if you happen to see a lenticular cloud outside the window of an airplane, better fasten your seatbelts. It's surely going to be a bumpy ride. Before we proceed to the number 1 entry, let's take a look at some clouds that didn't make the final cut. This screaming face. It's pretty unnerving to see a cloud that resembles a face, but seeing a screaming face is more terrifying. This cloud was seen in Grand Falls, New Brunswick during a storm. This skull face. Imagine seeing a skull face rising from the ash clouds of a volcano. Scary, right? Well, this is what people saw when wildfire started around Mount Vesuvius in Italy. This picture quickly went viral as soon as the discovery was made by the uploader. While not really a cloud or a cloud formation, this cloud, or more specifically smoke, comes from airplane flares. Looking at the picture, it does look like an angel, or at least their wings. Number 1. Morning Glory Clouds. So far, I've covered some of the most magnificent cloud formations known to man, but nothing comes close to the splendor of this cloud formation. Considered as a rare meteorological phenomenon, morning glory clouds, or roll clouds, are truly an impressive spectacle. Morning glory clouds are often described as ripples in the atmosphere, as several rolls of clouds more than 100 meters wide can be seen traversing the blue sky. And if you think seeing this cloud from the ground is impressive, you should definitely see it in the air. It's a breathtaking view that might bring tears to your eyes. Morning glory clouds are believed to originate in the Gulf of Carpentaria in Australia, although it has been reported that morning glory clouds have appeared in different areas around the world. While the formation of these clouds can be explained due to the unique makeup of the Gulf, meteorologists are baffled as to how these clouds are formed in other places. Nevertheless, if you happen to see this cloud formation on one of your trips, consider yourself lucky, for Mother Nature has given you the chance to gaze upon one of her many wondrous mysteries. Have you seen any of these strange cloud formations? What were your reactions when you saw them firsthand? Let me know in the comment section down below. See you next time.